Hello, this is Matt Thomas getting ready for my speech. I'm going to count off people now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, would somebody like to hold this for me? Thank you, Katie. You got me on there?
Yeah.
All right, so thank you everybody for listening to me today. I'm going to talk about internet security. So it's a pretty important thing. Have any of you guys ever gotten one of those emails from your 15th cousin in Nigeria talking about how somebody died and you're getting a really big inheritance if you just send them $20?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. That's one of those things, so don't fall for that. It's really important because you guys control your finances and everything electronically, right? So if somebody gets your information, then they can clear your bank account out, or they can ruin your workplace, or do all that good stuff. So I'm qualified to talk about this. This is part of it. I'm qualified to talk about it because I work in IT, and I give people security briefs as part of my job, and I'm Security Plus certified. So we're going to be talking about phishing and how to prevent these cyber attacks and what can happen if you don't prevent the cyber attacks. Very important stuff. And this is all important because if you don't, then you can get scammed and people can steal your information and ruin your company, and it's bad. So phishing is pretty much spelled with a PH, by the way. Phishing is not like fishing, but it's like phishing where somebody sends you an email or calls you and says, hey, I'm this person, but it's not really who they are, and they're trying to trick you to get your information. And that's a really bad thing. So I have a quote here. Number of cyber attacks in 2017. It was 1,579 data breaches, right? Which resulted in 178.9 million records being stolen. That's a lot. That is second place to 2009, where 222 million records were stolen from people. And that's just bad news. Nobody wants their records stolen, right? Especially if it's that old Woodstock record. That's a good one. So the Federal Trade Commission said that in 2017, 350,000 imposter scams caused people $328 million in losses, and that's not good. It's bad stuff. So we want to be aware of these people trying to phish us. Another way that they do it is called vishing, which is like phishing but with a V. And you would think that might be video phishing, but it's actually voice phishing. So that's like whenever they call you up on the phone and they say, hello, I'm here to, verify your credit card purchase or something. And they say, I'm just gonna need that number and that expiration date real quick. And so if you give it to them, they're gonna steal all your money. So don't do that, it's bad. So another thing that they will do is, I forgot what I was gonna say. They'll do other bad things like that. Oh, vishing, about vishing. That's one way that they can do that. It's called spear phishing, and that's pretty bad. That's where they target you personally, and it's just not good. So now we're going to talk about the effects of what can happen to you. So KnowBe4 is a company that does cybersecurity training, and they will let you test your users in your workplace to see if they click the bad links or not, and if they do, it reports it to you. So that's pretty cool. But they say that 91% of data breaches are due to this spear phishing. So this is where somebody will say, Lauren, I'm going to study you for a little bit, and then I'm going to find out where you work, and I'm going to, try to find a way that I can get into your workplace through you personally. And it's no good. You don't want that to happen. So another thing that can happen is ransomware can bring down your company's production time. That's very bad. Not just ransomware can do it, but ransomware will lock all of your system's files, and it'll go to everybody else's computer and do the same thing. And so that results in nobody being able to get on their computer. And they'll pretty much lock everything you have down unless you pay them, and then they may or may not unlock it, which is really bad because then your general manager has no ability to have production, so your company's not making any money. It's bad stuff. So you want to be very careful about those email links. You want to try to kind of hover over them with your mouse, and it'll pop up a little box to tell you where it's going. And so if it's like FedEx sent you an email and you hover over it and it says Amazon, then it's not FedEx, it's something else, and that's just bad. if you click on that, then they're going to get you, and it could ruin everything. So we talked about phishing and the effects that can happen. Now we're going to talk a little bit about prevention, which kind of rolls into, you know, how I said you can hold your mouse over the link, it'll show it. That's one of those things. But some other things you can do is just be aware. It's very good for people to know what they're doing if they're seeing these emails. So like, you want to be able to spot those little differences, such as if it's an email from FedEx but it doesn't come from FedEx, or the signature says Amazon, or, you know, anything like that that looks odd, you want to be very aware of, because if you get those emails and you think it's really FedEx but it's not, then they just got you. So one thing you can do to prevent that is, like I said, train your users if you're an IT person. Another thing you can do is get some security software. This stuff is very good. You can get the free versions, but that's going to require a little more work on your part to do manual scans. If you get a subscription, it's going to cost you money, but you'll have support that you can call, and they'll help you through any problems you have. They'll also cover all of your stuff, so that's good. So in 2016, one of back to the effects of ransomware, Symantec and FireEye are two private security companies, and they say that in 2016, ransomware was responsible for an $81 million theft from the Central Bank of Bangladesh. That's just like one of the many, many, many things that they stole from people. It was very big in 2017 in Europe. They were getting all kinds of people, getting banks, casinos and stuff. And most of the time, what let it through was just somebody not paying attention while they were doing their job. It's not good. So we've talked about phishing, the effects of phishing, or the effects of cyber attacks and how they can affect you. And we talked about a couple of ways to prevent them. As you can see, if you learned anything today, it is pretty important to not fall for these tricks. It's important to have your people trained, and it's important to train yourself to not have your bank account cleared. So in conclusion, if you happen to get another one of those emails from your 15th cousin in Jamaica or his butler, do not respond. It is a trick. Thank you very much.